con una de las bandas va a estar tocando la warm-up, una de las bandas que más está esperando la gente, que más ganas tienen de ver hoy, y eso es For My Valentine. Tengo el honor de estar con Matt. Matt, hi.
Hello.
Can you hear me with all this noise?
Just about.
Okay, well, first of all, and this is something I have to ask you, and probably gonna ask everyone here, after 2 years of hard time for everyone, how does it feel to be back on festivals?
Feels good. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. The last time we did a full festival run was in 2018 and 19. So yeah, the last few years has been very quiet for us and for live music in general, you know, so very good to be back.
And you're also coming back with 2021, a new album, which is For My Valentine. It's your 7th album, studio. And this is something that I read that many fans were curious about, and is why you choose on your 7th album to name it with the name of the band. You know, usually this is something that bands do it on their first EP or first album, like, you know, well, why is that? You run out of ideas, or?
No, we just thought time was right. We thought it was, you know, for us it's the definitive ultimate Bullet record, you know what I mean? It's got everything that Bullet has always been, but everything is just amplified massively. It just felt like we were on a really good roll creatively, and we just felt really confident about who we are in 21, 22, and we just felt that this album signifies the next 10, 15 years of the band, you know what I mean? It feels like it's a fresh intensity to the band, which is cool, you know, so we just wanted to put that stamp on it.
I like that. That's a good explanation. So if you're listening to it and you were wondering, you know now.
Yeah, we just love it. We think it's our best record to date. You know, everyone has their preferences, especially when you've been around as long as we have, of favorite records. But for us, there was just something magical about it. And I think coming through the adversity of writing and recording it during the pandemic as well, it felt extra special as well. You know what I mean? So, and it felt like, I don't know, we had a duty to deliver the best version of us that we could. You know.
That leads me to the next question, because you just say it, and it's been very emotional times, and it's been really hard time for the whole world over the pandemic. How much that feeling influence on this album?
Yeah, we just tried to channel as much of that into the making of it as possible. You know what I mean? It was a very uncertain, weird time for us as a band, for live music, for humanity in you know, I'm not saying that lightly. It was a big deal, you know. It affected the globe, and we didn't know what the future held for anything at all, really, you know. So we just kind of tried to capture that mood and intensity and emotion into the record, you know. And I think we did a good job, you know.
I think so too, and I think fans as well, because it was quite successful. People was really happy with it. I mean, the critics on the internet mostly are like very positive. I don't know if that's something you expected, or.
It wasn't something we expected or look for or need. You know, we've always done what we've done creatively. We haven't listened to critics and people's opinions apart from our own. You know what I mean? So obviously you'd want it to be received well throughout the masses. But you know, if it's not, as long as you've done what you've wanted to do creatively, then it kind of doesn't matter, you know what I mean? So, but it's always nice when it connects to a bigger audience than a smaller one. But you know, we've always done things our way, and creatively we've always been the band we've wanted to be. So even if we do get a bunch of shit online, it's just like, it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Yeah, fuck it doesn't matter to us, you know what I mean? It's cool.
That makes me curious about something about the beginning, because there's so many bands that you guys are influencing to be band musicians, you know, around the world, and there's always this stigma around being a musician. It's like when you're starting, it's like your parents, you better study, you better get a job, you know, and things are not gonna go well for an artist. Did you experience that when you started, like over 20 years ago? Did you have support from your family, from your friends?
Yeah, they were the only people that did support me and the band, was my family and my friends. Everyone else who should have rallied behind it and like kind of supported were like, you know, like school teachers, people in the work, because we obviously were working full-time jobs before the band got signed, and that whole part of it was difficult because no one really believed. Everyone would like mock, because we were in a metal band, and they would tell us, oh, you're never going to get anywhere, you're too heavy, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, we had a dream, and we had self-belief, and we did have the support and the motivation and the encouragement from my parents, from my sisters, from my friends. and that was good, because they could have gone the other way. As parents, all you want to do is best education, a really good future, prospects, and all that stuff. And playing heavy metal was, from a parent point of view, is probably like, oh, okay, maybe you should, But they weren't. They were like, you have a dream, you go for it, son. You know what I mean? So I did, and it was great. So yeah.
You're a lucky one.
I know, I am. There were moments where they were like, especially towards the end, when I was like 22, 23, and was kind of in shitty jobs because I was sacrificing everything for the band. And I think there were moments where they were like, you thought about maybe this isn't for you. And
maybe be a doctor or something.
Yeah, and I was like, maybe, but I'm not done with the dream yet, and we just pushed and pushed and pushed, and boom, finally.
Do you have a revenge with that? I mean, have you crossed someone from the past that used to say, you're not gonna make it?
Yeah.
Matt, you better get a job. And now you are like who you are?
It's good to rub people's faces in it. We don't do it anymore, but in the early days we did, and that's what 4 Words to Choke Upon is about. Look at me now. It's like, fuck you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that song was dedicated to everybody that didn't believe in us,
I think it's genius.
Yeah.
I don't know, I would be like that. If nobody believes in me or they're trying to mock you, as you said, I would...
Exactly. It doesn't take a lot to just to show support. You don't have to kind of believe or understand it, but you don't have to mock and bully and take the piss. And if someone has a dream to be a fashion designer or a musician or whatever, I don't understand why it's different and why you wouldn't get that support behind you from everyone.
I don't get it either, but
sometimes that's how it is. But that just made us even more determined, and here we are 20 years later, still going strong.
Where do you think you're gonna be in another 10 years later, 10 years from now? Where Bullet For My Valentine is gonna be doing?
I'd like to think that we're still doing what we do. We still love it. Most importantly, we've got to love it. If we don't love it and enjoy it, and it just becomes part of just the routine because that's what we do, then I think that might be the moment to think about doing something else. But as it stands right now, we're hungry as ever, we're motivated as ever. We're on, as a live band, we've never been better. We just delivered what we think is the best album we've ever done. So there's a lot of life in the old dog yet, you know what I mean? So hopefully, headlining festivals everywhere across the world and doing what we do, hopefully, we'll see.
What about your parallel project, Axwound?
Axwound, yeah, I mean, that was just a random thing that I managed to pull together during some downtime 10 years ago now. It's
10 years already.
2000,
getting old, man. I'm getting old too. I'm feeling old.
We all are. Don't worry about it. We'll get old together. It's fine. But yeah, Bullet is such a all-encompassing thing in my world. It's hard to take 6 months to go and do something else. You know what I mean? It's hard. The time just doesn't exist unless I want to put the brakes on for a year on Bullet. And it's still my baby, and it's still where my heart is. So.
Yes, had to split the time, family as well.
Well, exactly.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
So it's just not enough hours in the day. But never say never. I'd like to do something, but Bullet would have to stop. And that doesn't
so
seem
it's on hold, let's say.
It's on hold. Yeah, never say never. I'd love to do something, but Bullet takes up a lot of time. So.
Okay. Last question. Is anything you would like to say to your Spanish audience here, your fans? You have a huge, huge fan base in here. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I would like to hope so. Yeah, it's we haven't really played many shows in Spain.
That's so bad. Really bad. Bad, Matt. Very bad.
Hey, speak to our agent and our management, man. It's we've said over the years, why aren't we playing these places? We see other bands doing these touring cycles, and there's Madrid and Bilbao and Barcelona, and it's we don't book the tours. You know what I mean? Which is why aren't we doing this? But so apologies to our Spanish fans, but thank you for your love and support. It doesn't go unnoticed, and we are here today, and we're gonna kick some ass.
Thank you so much, Matt. I wish you a really good show today. We're going to be watching you, hopefully from the stage, if they let us. And this was Matt from Bullet For My Valentine for Resurrection Fest TV 2022.